So from 2005 through 2008, I stenciled the word vote in the style of Robert Indiana's Love Design. 2008, I attended the DNC in Denver. Not far from the convention, a block of Larimer Street was dedicated to graffiti murals for Obama and the Manifest Hope art show in a warehouse filled with hundreds of street artists' works, most notably Shepard Fairey and Ron English. That year, graffiti and electoral politics intersected, becoming a new phenomenon. Curious as to what happened 8 years later, I've decided to present to you a plethora of street artists who came out to support our new commander-in-chief. The first artist I'd like to talk to you about goes by the name Sabo. Although he has made several appearances on Fox News, CNN, and other media outlets, his true identity still remains unknown. Believe me, I've wasted way too much time going through numerous channels trying to discover it. Sabo is a former Marine living in LA. He started making street art to critique the Obama administration and liberal celebrities. Originally a staunch supporter of Ted Cruz, he spent over a year hitting the streets with anti-Trump street posters. But that soon changed after Cruz officially and explicitly endorsed him. The weeks prior to the election, Sabo covered bus stop benches and installed lawn signs in Beverly Hills, Pacific Palisades, and Brentwood. Mock advertisements for Sotheby's Realty were intended to ridicule actors who promised to move abroad if Trump won the presidency. This included Miley Cyrus, Whoopi Goldberg, Barbra Streisand, Lena Dunham, Jon Stewart, Cher, Amy Schumer, Samuel L. Jackson, and Bryan Cranston. After Trump won the election, he appropriated posters for TV shows and movies, including show you might have seen 24, and the most recent Star Wars film, Rogue One. So that pretty much sums up my presentation of all the pro-Trump street artists, or artists rather. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, I can answer those in the end. It appears I have about 18 minutes left. So I guess I'll take this time to show you the street artists who actually opposed the Donald. I'll attempt to wade us through this by organizing the works through different motifs and political issues. So the first motif is appropriation of cartoons and comics. This artist pasted up Trump's face on Uncle Sam's body along with the tagline, "Make America Hate Again." Tabby took us back to the 90s and turned him into trolls due to his Twitter trolling, and the Lion King for his aversion of truth-telling. Entenhausen incorporated Donald Duck into his mural. Sack 6 depicted him as Simpsons character Nelson because of his bullying. Absent imposed his head onto the body of Richie Rich, commenting on Trump's vast inherited wealth and greed in pieces called Bitchy Rich. Phoenix artist Il Pizzo wheat pasted an image of Trump as a hip-hop Jabba the Hutt. Ron English painted a mural of Donald as Humpty Dumpty falling off a wall. Ivan Roque and Ray Ramirez were confident that Trump would only win after pigs fly. Piero created this buck-toothed patriot character of Trump. Tom Blackford turned him into President Evil based on a Resident Evil video game character. Hesco painted 2 murals of him as the devil. One was defaced with a tear and Trump sad. DFX and Whalen painted Trump alongside Teletubbies and as a baby in a war-torn landscape. Toxic Theriac created posters and stickers showing Trump's head dissected in half, revealing robotic parts. Trump was depicted as Captain America in ADW's mural, as well as multi-layered stencils painted by DNAC. Similarly, Wonder Woman can be seen knocking him out on this massive poster in Philly, and Harry Nelson had Catwoman kicking him in the groin. Jacob Thomas created posters of Donald as Batman, while several others used Bruce Wayne's nemesises. For example, Lush 6 depicted him as Batman villain Bane, as well as signing an executive order banning all anime. The Bushwick Collective traveled down to Miami to paint a gigantic mural titled, "Come on, what the hell do you have to lose?" showing Trump as the Joker holding a knife to Lady Liberty's throat. After the election, they transformed Trump into a gorilla. Spiros was commissioned by Mana Contemporary in Jersey City to paint Trump as the Joker, opening his jacket to reveal grenades. Jacob Gardner and Caitlin Lockhart depicted him as a clown, as well as Mexican graffiti calligrapher Ram Stecco. Grayball's Wolf Monkey, Tabby, and Ivan Orama all portrayed him as the iconic fast food clown Ronald McDonald or Donald McTrump. Trump's racist and white nationalist rhetoric has been compared to that of Adolf Hitler. Here we have McTrump contorted into a swastika, J.J. Guns and Ace Troy blanketed Portland with posters of Adolf Trump. Jeff Rothberg also illustrated posters of a combination Hitler and Dr. Evil, as well as some Tic Tacs and the nuclear launch codes. Jacob Thomas turned him into Hitler for posters and protest signs. Tyler pictured Trump as Hitler holding the world in his hands. Pegasus similarly depicted him at a podium along with George Santayana's quote, "Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it." An anonymous artist pasted up posters of Trump's head with a Hitler mustache and swastika background. Posters were quickly removed by police, which is not usually something in their job description. California College of Arts and Graphic Design professors Mark Fox and Angie Wang designed this subversive negative space swastika logo. Many people believed it was actually an official logo of Trump hotels, and it started popping up in other anonymous artists' work in Salt Lake City and Manchester, England. Shortly after the inauguration, La Melgosa Gallery commissioned Karen Fiorito to design a billboard commenting on the new president. Soon thereafter, she received death threats and was vandalized with paintballs and graffiti. An unknown artist or crew painted "Racism Won't Trump Our Unity." 281 Anti-Nuke spread these stickers of Trump and Klan members in Japan. In Joe Burrowchow's piece titled "Nightmare," he shows Trump standing above a crib of 3 white babies, and behind him are a bunch of Muslim and racial caricatures looming ominously, and minimized them to a lawn jockey statue. Robbie Connell's "Bully Culprit" and "Can't Even" posters included Trump's racial slurs about Mexican immigrants from his candidacy announcement speech. Kishu, Shine, and Chris vandalized a billboard with their demand that Trump be deported. An unknown graph artist said the only wall Trump will get is the one that they painted. And here is Trump with a hard hat holding this sign. Barbie and Hope built a wall around Trump, and so did Jack Duns of Paintsmith's crew. This idea was also illustrated in 3D when Plastic Jesus placed a miniature border wall around Donald's star on Hollywood Boulevard. Plastic Jesus also printed up these signs indicating plans for future internment camps. Hanksy, no, not Banksy, made these satirical campaign posters in Spanish. Lushux painted Trump trying to prove he loves Mexicans. In the past month, he painted several murals on the separation wall in Palestine. Anarchist collective In Decline painted this mural on the existing border wall in Tijuana. Weeks ago, French photographer and street artist JR installed this large photo of a toddler peering over the wall. And most recently, he gathered activists on both sides to have a picnic around the eyes of an immigrant child. So as we all know, Trump is not just a racist, he's a misogynist too. A month before the election, the Washington Post published a leaked audio recording of a hot mic conversation he had during a taping of Access Hollywood. The entire quote has been memorialized with these bronze placard-like posters by Halt Action Group, and legendary graph writer Katsu plastered them all over the city. Consumer art adapted Banksy's monkeys and sandwich boards, and a Berlin subway train was also covered with his infamous grab 'em by the pussy line. Anonymous artists put up posters of Trump grabbing the crotch of Lady Liberty, as well as Uncle Sam with the tagline, "I want to feel you," and the stickers with Trump's misogynistic quotes. Artists responded to Trump's remarks in favor of sexual assault by stripping him of his own clothes. Tabby painted a stencil emasculating him with a pair of lacy high heels. A stenciled wheat paste showed Trump wearing nothing but an American flag diaper. and Nipwit revealed a nipple underneath his comb-over. Lush Sucks painted nudes of Donald and Melania. While imagination was necessary for Donald, source imagery for the First Lady naked was easy to attain. After some protest, the artist, however, decided to self-censor his pieces. The most ambitious project I'll show you is entitled The Emperor Has No Balls. It came from IndieCline. They commissioned the Vegas-based horror film monster designer Joshua Ginger Monroe to build a series of 5 silicon sculptures depicting Donald in his birthday suit. 40 participants were involved in the covert installation in 5 cities, which took place at exactly the same time. The Cleveland statue was taken down in an hour. San Francisco statue was removed early the next day. Seattle and Hollywood Boulevard statues were claimed before authorities could take them. And the one placed in Union Square was removed early that afternoon. The New York City Parks Department stated that it stands firmly against any unpermitted erection in city parks, no matter how small. Numerous non-American artists chose to show Trump connecting with various world leaders. Several were inspired by Dmitry Rubel's Berlin Wall mural, "My God, help me to survive this deadly love." Tabby painted a stencil of Trump kissing his favorite love of all. Lush Sucks instead chose his rival Hillary. The paintsmiths had him smooching former London Mayor Boris Johnson. Object and DNT were commissioned to paint Trump with Theresa May. The British Prime Minister has also been seen dancing with Trump in a La La Land twist by Bambi and spanking him in this complex stencil by Pegasus. 2 weeks before Trump visited the Vatican, TV Boy stuck up this painted poster of the Pope kissing a Trump with devil horns and a holstered gun. In Lithuania, Mindaugas Bananu was commissioned to paint this mural titled "Make Everything Great Again." Shortly after, Vladimir and Donald exchanged sentiments of mutual admiration. Lush Sucks also showed Putin and Trump's fondness for each other in a pair of murals here. Don Arbuck painted "Meanwhile in America" in response to the allegations that Russia tampered with the election. Subdued also paired Trump with Putin, as well as North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un. Jeff Rothberg depicted the leaders comparing the size of their missiles. Jacob Thomas blended the faces of Trump and Un, as did Lush Sucks. And he also painted a mural of Donald and Kim riding missiles like rodeo cowboys. Barbie and Hope illustrated the tension between the U.S. and North Korea with this fight poster, mural, and stickers. And Queen Elizabeth's likeness was merged with Trump's by both Lush Sucks and Ace Troy. Then bodily fluids, which were very prevalent in anti-Trump street art. So Sapo painted this piece titled "Spitting Image." Villain Art used yarn to make a vomiting Trump. Lush Sucks imagined Donald spewing a sparkly rainbow. More of what you might call tarmac art, Creighton University graphic design professor Tim Guthrie screen printed air sickness bags that he placed into seatback pockets of planes. He included the hashtag "Make America Barf Again" so passengers could share photos on social media. Someone stuck up these stickers after rumors spread that Trump paid Russian prostitutes to urinate on him. Pieces of Shit for Trump is the smallest scale project in this presentation, and by simply sticking Trump campaign signs into ready-made dog poop left on sidewalks, this artist turned pedestrians' most hated nuisance into humorous political art. Joe Burrochow cut this image of Trump on the toilet out of black paper and printed it into posters and stickers, which he plastered all over Philadelphia. J.J. Guns had Donald with 2 left hands being flushed down a toilet. Hanksy, again, not Banksy, painted this iconic image of Trump as a pile of crap. So Trump's use of profanity also gave rise to the same in graffiti. Hanksy's poop emoji image was repainted by an unknown artist on a railroad car with the phrase, well, you can read. Can I say, should I let them just read, or it says fuck Trump. Yeah. There you have it. Jeff Rothberg designed a map replacing the word fuck with Trump. Political Gridlock thinks he's a jackass. Absent shows Trump flipping us off. And Trump's violent rhetoric also inspired several artists to encourage returning violence back his way. So Czech artist Chemist painted this mural of a young boy boxing with Trump in a crumbling building in Malta. Fabian Lopez painted an image akin to Kathy Griffin holding Donald's bloody decapitated head. And an unknown artist painted a portrait of him with a bullet wound in his forehead and blood dripping from his nose. In Salt Lake City and Portland, anonymous vandals called for Trump's assassination. Furia painted a portrait of Trump, and he called on passers-by to pelt it with eggs. See there. Absent printed posters of Trump's plane crashing in response to the Muslim travel ban, and someone replaced Damien Hirst's shark with Trump's floating corpse. Brian Whiteley dropped off a 500-pound gravestone in Central Park. Carved into it were Trump's name, the year he was born, but not the year of his death, and the phrase, "Make America Hate Again." While the piece was removed quickly, it received vast amount of media attention. After a 6-week investigation, Secret Service showed up to his door, interrogated him, searched his apartment, and forced him to sign a waiver allowing them to collect his mental health records. Afterwards, he was able to retrieve the tombstone from NYPD storage. After Trump pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement, artists took him to task for his denial of global warming. The Pink Bear pointed out that he puts profits over the planet. Combo showed him writing global warming is fake. Bambi stenciled the phrases "Make America Sane Again" and "The woods are burning." Bad Baby Trump quoted his theory that global warming was created by the Chinese to destroy U.S. manufacturing jobs. And in the middle of the night, the group In Decline trespassed into Trump National Golf Course. With garden tools, they carved "No more woods, no more tigers" into the 5th hole green. So the remaining works relate to resistance or incorporate all of the previously mentioned themes. So a few days after the inauguration, Greenpeace activists scaled a 270-foot tall crane and unfurled this 70-foot resist banner right behind the White House. Resist and "Not My President" stencils appeared in Austin, Texas. And then several artists could not help themselves but to rhyme Trump with dump. One New Yorker created Trump's portrait from a stop sign. Plastic Jesus installed authentic-looking street signs that read "No Trump Anytime." He also printed up these completely worthless $100 bills with Trump's mug on them. Subdued stenciled this Trump card that gave Donald perfect scores for misogyny, Islamophobia, verbal diarrhea, idiocracy, megalomania, and his smug face. Remember the movie Big? Well, a month before the election, an anonymous group of artists revealed a Zoltar machine, except it was an animatronic Donald. Instead of good news, he read off misfortunes.
All right, look into my crystal ball and see America's future. I'm getting a vision where I've just used my executive powers to defund Planned Parenthood. I shut them all down. And let's be clear, I could care less about abortion. Believe me, I wish I aborted a few of my own kids. I see a huge investment into a modern high-speed rail system. And by the way, I love the Mexican people. I love their spirit. And I love packing them onto trains like cattle. My trains are so much better than the trains the Germans used. And by the way, I get rid of all the Muslim Americans too. And some of the Hindus, because I don't have time to be politically correct. I gotta tell you, we're bombing the hell out of these terrorists, and we're taking out their families too. Because you gotta take out the wives and the kids. In the future, I completely ruin the dishonest media. Look at you. You're so confused. You're a total lightweight. Do you people see this loser? Get him out of here. When I'm president, we're gonna have a terrific nuclear war. It's gonna be unbelievable. It's gonna make Hiroshima look like a campfire. During the election, my people were so dumb. I could stand in the middle of 5th Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any votes. It's like incredible.
Thank you. Well, you survived hearing Trump's name nearly 100 times in 20 minutes. Thanks for listening. I'll leave you with this recent portrait of Obama painted by the prolific Lush Sucks.